Good evening and welcome to the Web Racing Network. It's tonight's coverage of the NEOSCA Relay for Life 200 on the in Daytona Beach, Florida. My name is Tony Stevens, joined alongside tonight none other than my good buddy, or worst enemy, depending on what time of day it might be, Joe Cortez, and as always, Matt Thomas in the WRA production truck, pushing the buttons and making the magic happen. And we have got one healthy field of trucks here tonight for this 200-mile, 80-lap charity race, Joe.
Tony, it's awful good to see you as well. Very healthy field to see 22 drivers all taking it up for a good cause. Tonight, they're running for the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life. I have always contended that the sim racing community has always been the most generous and to have the biggest heart out there in the racing community. When I raised money for breast cancer awareness, research, and support, the sim racing community all jumped up at the opportunity to give me a hand, and tonight they're doing it once again. NEOSCA is going to run 200 miles here at Daytona International Speedway, 80 laps around the 2.5-mile monster to raise money to eradicate this horrible disease.
And it's certainly one of those, it seems like it touches everybody's life in any way, shape, or form. And in fact, you can donate to this particular cause. You see the address there on your screen, and that is good for PayPal. So if you'd like to make a donation, certainly any and all donations would be appreciated. And in fact, you know, and I'm sure you're the same way, Joe. Cancer touched many people in your life. Right now, in fact, my stepsister's husband, I guess that'd be what, my step-brother-in-law, something, but nonetheless, battling stage 4 lung cancer right now, and certainly have had known many other people throughout the years who have had various forms of the disease, and it's amazing what organizations like the American Cancer Society have done to help people as far as getting over and getting through these various diagnoses of cancer. And compared to what it was 10 or 15 years ago, certainly leaps and bounds ahead of what it once was.
The research has come a long way, and there is so much hope, more hope now than there was a long time ago for the cancer than it was now. But that being said, there's still so much more work that needs to be done, so much more research that needs to be done. As we follow along with the number 71 of Rob Pittman, he's sporting that American Cancer Society Relay for Life paint scheme on his Silverado truck right now. There's so much more work that needs to be done as far as cancer research is concerned, and until there is a cure, groups like the American Cancer Society, events like Relay for Life are vitally needed in order to make this all come to an end.
Very, very true, Joe. Right now, qualifying taking place here at Daytona. Finding the Eddie George machine on the speedway right now. Truck number 2, the Mazio Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet Silverado. He is on his qualifying lap, his first of 2. First lap, 25th quickest. We'll see what he can do here on lap number 2. Survey says it is faster. Jumps him up to 20th fastest, 48.632 seconds.
The 07 is going back out for another qualifying attempt out there. Check that. He's just going to go and turn some laps. He's going down pit road right now. I believe we've reached the end of qualifying in talking about cancer. Number 3 of Jeremy Harrington is going to be sitting on the pole as of right now, turning in a qualifying time of 48.555 seconds. On the outside of him, number 61 of Bill Brown, he's only 0.3 of a second behind. That should give you an idea. Check that, 3/1000ths of a second.
There you go.
As Pepper, the production intern, yells in my ear. First time she gets the math right forever. So 3/1000ths of a second is the top 10 of Jeremy Harrington first, Bill Brown second, Mike Shelton third, Brendan Otto fourth, L. Bryce Woodson Jr. fifth, Mike Koch sixth, Robbie Johnston fourth, Jeff Ford eighth, Rob Pittman ninth, and Chad Dalton rounding out your top 10. Very, very competitive times. Should make for a very competitive NEOSCA race.
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly is. And even for an open setup type race, if memory, I believe it is open setup. I could be wrong, but it might be a fixed setup deal. Nonetheless, still very, very tight field here tonight. It's a 3 machine of Jeremy Harrington on the front row. Let's go front to back and bring you tonight's 14 rows and 28 starters in the NEOSCA Relay for Life 200. on the pole. In truck number 3, Jeremy Harrington with a lap of 48.555 seconds. 3 1/1000ths off of him. The 61 is Bill Brown.
In row number 2 is number 33 of Mike Shelton will start on the inside. In third, on the outside of him, will be the number 14 of Brandon Otto in fourth.
Bryce Whitson Jr. rolls off in the 00 in fifth. Mike Cook in the 83 starts sixth.
In row number 4, it will be the number 96 of Robbie Johnson in seventh on the inside. Outside of him will be the number 22 of Jeff Ford starting in eighth.
Rob Pittman's car, or truck number 71, will roll off in the inside of row number 5. Outside of him, the 77, Chad Dalton.
Row number 6 belongs to number 50 of Christopher Worth II on the inside. In the number 50 machine, he'll start 11th. On the outside of him, the number 4 of Brandon Bowie starts 12th.
Bill Dunn starts 13th. George Birds 14th.
Row number 8 belongs to Michael Watson II in 15th. Skip Kreider in 16th.
Bo Jeffries and Ray Thompson make up row number 9.
Row number 10 will belong to Robert Barney on the inside, Eddie George on the outside, position number 20.
The 89, Tommy Fellows, is in the inside of row number 11. In 22nd spot, Daniel Drago in the 47th spot.
In row number 12, it will be Jeffrey Gilliam rounding out the 23rd in the 30 machine. On the outside of him, the number 39 is Jim Gleegan will start 24th.
25th, the 48, Henry O'Connor. Outside of him, the 12, Jeffrey LaPaul.
In number 20, in the 27th position will be number 35 of Justin Majeski, and rounding out this field will be the number 90 of Brendan Fellows. He will start 28th on this field, and that takes you through all the rows of tonight's Relay for Life 200 here at Daytona International Speedway. 80 laps begins in just a moment. I'm excited to see all these trucks run as hard as they can out there to eradicate cancer.
And tonight's NEOSCA Relay for Life 200 is brought to you by NEOSCA, the Northeast Online Stock Car Association. Check them out at neosca.org. Relay for Life. Find out more, relayforlife.org. TC's Custom Diecast. Mitchell, you heard on WRN, and he might just go ahead and do something for you. The best diecast reproductions anywhere on the sim racing market. Of course, our friends at iRacing.com, TradeSpains.com, and those of us here at the Web Racing Network. Field rolling through the 31-degree banks of turns 3 and 4 over the tunnel that connects the outside of the inside here at Daytona. Pace car gets ready to make the hard left-hand turn off of the racing surface. Jeremy Harrington, Bill Brown, Mike Shelton, Brandon Otto, and Bryce Whitson Jr. The top 5 lead him down. There's the green flag, and we are racing here at Daytona. Lap number 1 of 80. On the way to completion.
They started to sound like me. Everyone's still double file down through the front stretch into turn number 1. Harrington getting pressure on the outside from, looks like, Bill Brown out there on the number 61 machine. Outside lane could be the place to be right now. Now check that. Jeremy Harrington will hold on to the lead, at least for now. But the freight train's starting to come on that outside. We've seen the outside line very strong here at Daytona, here at iRacing.
That we have, for that matter, also the two-truck tango starting to come into play. You see a lot of these guys pushing each other, and of course the reason that works is because it allows the aerodynamic drag from behind to completely cut in half, if not more. And of course that truck that has a lot more power pushes that truck in front of them, and that's why two trucks hooked up in contact is faster than 1 or 3 or whatever that is not hooked up or are not hooked up in contact. That's why it works. And when those field shows, once you learn it, you can't go backwards. It's hard to unlearn things. It's trouble nearly up front. Brandon Otto got the outside wall, hung on to it, but certainly some damage to the outside of that 14.
A little damage doesn't affect the tire wear, but it's aerodynamic prowess out there. As you said earlier, when these trucks get hooked up, they look like a freight train and act accordingly. When just a little scratch happens, especially number 14, he's going to lose that aerodynamic push a little bit. Not too much, but just enough, which will make a difference between where he's at now in 5th and 8th, 9th position. Meanwhile, up front, the number 3 and 33 have hooked up, and they've got a little train of their own. But don't count out the 00 or the 36 right now as they're catching up. 00 of Whitson now going up that high line. Wiggling back and forth, though. Not sure if they're quite ready to take the high line on those tires. Laps down.
Yeah, Robbie Johnson right there, number 96 machine. He was with the 00, and he just decided to go ahead and change lanes. And not too sure to be happy with that. Nonetheless, the 71 machine at Pittman right there with Johnson as well. The 61 machine up top is Bill Brown. And now everybody's kind of got disconnected. They are no longer engaged up front. We use the term a lot of the guys use around the garage in the Cup Series, the Truck Series. They've now become disengaged as the bottom lane begins to engage and try to pull away a little bit.
Is that what they're calling it now? Because they called it something else back in my day. The number 00, Bryce Winston Jr. will take the lead away from the number 3. Uh-oh, number 14, though, looking to get low. Almost has it down there, but is able to save it. Number 14 does not look comfortable on that high line. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to stay low and figures out what he can do there. 33 debating which line he wants to go.
Right on board, 22 machine, Jeff Ford. You see what's happening in front of him. He's being shown last time by the stripe in the 8th spot. I think a few of these guys saw what the 14 did a little earlier, and they've chilled out a little bit here, Joe. Don't see quite as many guys all over the bumper of the guy in front of him yet.
Low line is hooked up like a freight train on wheels. The high line giving a little space to each other. I don't think after 5 laps they're quite comfortable with the Goodyears underneath them just yet to run that high line. Meanwhile, the 00 and the number 3 checking out for the lead right now. And the number 3 debates what he wants to do. If he wants to try to sneak underneath them, he's going to back off a little bit as everyone else comes to catch up to him. Check out the 33. As they're coming hot on the outside line.
They're engaged, bottom line, disengaged with the 33 on Mike Shelton to the top of the running order. He's got help from the 61 of Brown, but as they go around the 00 of Whitson, they begin to get sucked apart just a little bit. Nonetheless, they'll get back together on the bottom of the racetrack out in front of this field.
For the 33, your second lead change of the night. Mike Shelton will take the lead this time around. Bill Brown in second, Brandon Otto in third down there. And we're talking about number 14 touching the wall and getting a little bit of wear and some aerodynamic pull off his machine. It doesn't look like he's suffering that bad. He's just found his way up to third. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and check out the deck lid of the leader, 33, Mike Shelton. And you can see just how close they were as now it goes into the pass. Bill Brown's going to take away the lead. We have a new leader.
They perform the swap flawlessly over in turn 3. The question is, can they get sucked back together? The 61's got to drag that brake pedal, which he didn't do very well. Let's go out of 22 to go right by him on the outside. That's Jeff Ford. And he has gotten a little bit of help from the 77 of Chad Dalton. And now Dalton peeked to the outside. Nothing there. They will become disengaged. The 61 now going to have a little bit of a run. That's Brown again on the bottom with help from the 33. You got to get that swap performed, and you got to do it just right. And the brake pedal, so you thought you never hear this in a place like this, the brake pedal will be your best friend as super speedway now.
18 trucks in the main pack right now, still trying to fight for position out there on lap 7 of 80. All 7 laps perform mostly flawlessly out there. These NEOSCA drivers know what they're doing, and they aren't afraid to show what they've got on TV, and especially when a good cause is on the line. Jeff Ford continues to lead, but check who's on the back number of him. That's number 33 all over again. Check now, we have a new leader to be the number 81.
Brown still in front. That is the 61 machine. It looks like they're probably a lap or two away from performing the swap. But you've got to be careful here, Joe, because as you suck up behind that guy in front of you, you're not getting the airflow to your radiator. You need to make sure that you get some breathability to that truck. You don't want to burn it up here in the early stages. And that's kind of the game you're going to have to play. How much can you push? How much can you run that needle over to the right of the gauge and wear that motor out as far as temperature goes? We have another lead change. There goes the 14 machine of Otto to the front with a little bit of help as well. But again, it's all about making sure, Joe, that you don't cook the motor early and you have some time to pull out, to breathe it, to let that motor cool back down. And you've only got about 2 or 3, maybe at the very, very most later in the race, 4 laps that you can actually push before it starts to cook the motor and you begin to lose power.
Though I wouldn't be surprised if tonight we don't see any engines blown. It's a nice clear night here in Daytona. 78 degrees is the air temperature, so rain's probably about 90. Uh-oh, there's some trouble down there. It looks like the truck gets the line. New truck now around. Yellow flag is out, and that's going to bring out some problems out there. So we have some more problems out there.
The 4 truck is in it. The 90 machine is in it. But they just came full throttle, and quite frankly, I don't think they even cracked the throttle. Even though the caution flag was already out, the spotters, I'm sure, were telling them what was happening. But as is always the case here, it seems like the initial wreck happens, and it's those behind it that really get sucked into it. So tough break for the 4 machine of Bowie, the 90 machine as well, who I believe caught a piece of it. That is Brendan Fellows and others back there in that second pack. It looks like that's effectively going to be their first reset of the night. Matt, show us what happened.
Yeah, we're going to back this up here and make sure we get everything up. It looks like these 71 and 77, they make a little bit of contact right about here. See them up on the high side, the orange number at 77. 71 gives them a little bump draft to 77, gets going back and forth, wish-washy, and they both get around here. And then the 71, he's spinning down the track, and watch everybody try to avoid it. Here comes that second pack, and everybody's already spinning before they even get to him. And then the 71 at Pittman gets upended. Not good for your league admin to get involved in a early wreck here, and there are a couple of resets, so hopefully these guys can get back going and not have too much happen to them. We're going to take a little in-car replay of the 71 as well.
So not a good look for either of those two trucks, as that 77, as you see him get upended, or check that 71 of Rob Pittman get upended over and over again, and the in-car just gives me the shivers, because that's a brutal hit for him to take if he even gets upside down at one point there. Not a good look, but that's why they have the resets for tonight's special event for the Relay for Life 200. Brandon Otto will be scored as your leader this time around, and I don't believe he's come down pit road yet.
No, but there are a lot of trucks coming down pit road. Most of those who were involved in this incident going to come down, get 4 brand new tires and a full tank of Sunoco racing fuel. And it just looked like, yeah, it was a typical Daytona chain reaction deal, to where the guys just, you're in this 2-truck tandem, you're pushing this guy, and you can't really see. It's very hard, even on the straightaway, to stay square. It looked like the 77 machine just got touched in the right rear by the 71, and tough break for Pittman, because he had nowhere to go. He tried to let the 77 save. Everybody else checked up behind him, and they were fine. He still lost it. Those 2 trucks got swept into it. The 16 caught a piece of it as well, Robert Barney. And then that second pack, the 4 machine was leading that pack. He backed off because he saw the wreck. Everybody else behind him may not have seen the wreck, and they just pushed him right into it. And then, of course, all chaos broke loose. So it's kind of a result of the type of racing we have to do here right now at Daytona.
So right now, as your top 5 stands, it'll be the number 14 of Brandon Otto leading that pack. Bryce Whitson Jr. in second in the 00 machine. Robbie Johnson, number 96 in third. Bill Brown, the number 61 in fourth. And Jeff Ford is rounding it around out your top 5. And each of those trucks, I believe, have led at least 1 lap out here. So you have the cream of the pack right now up in front. And a lot of guys, everybody remains on the lead lap. A lot of, except for Rob Pittman, a lot of guys hungry out there who could potentially take it away and really make something happen out here.
Yeah, that they certainly could. Well, Brandon Otto is up front. I want to take a minute and highlight the 14-truck sponsor on that car. This is the Relay for Life NEOSCA 200 here at Daytona. And if you look at the 14 car, he's got a sponsor on that machine, R2C. Now, a lot of racing people might know that name as a filter company, and it is, but this particular R2C is not a filter manufacturer. It stands for Racing to Cure. And one of the cool things that Racing to Cure does is they allow you to solicit donations for all types of racers. Sim racers, kart racers, lawnmower racers, cup racers, bush racers, you name it. If you want a charity to get involved with as a racer, Racing to Cure is one of them. You can check them out online at racingtocure.org. And they take pledges, and essentially a certain percentage of those pledges goes straight to research for cancer, to help find cures for the various types of cancers that everybody around the world is becoming afflicted with, be they thyroid cancers, lung cancers, skin cancers, brain tumors, whatever the case might be. Certainly so many of those out there, but Racing to Cure does a great job. It helps racers get some funding for their racing, but also helps as far as being associated with a charity, and it also helps them to raise funds for a very, very worthy cause. So a lot of win-wins there. So check them out online, racingtocure.org.
And I don't know if you still have his hood up there, but you can see his personal address out there, racingtocure.org/Brandon-Otto across his hood there. So if you want to help him out in his crusade to end cancer, racingtocure.org/drivers/Brandon-Otto. Pace car lights are off. We were only about a quarter of a lap away before we are back to green flag racing. Brandon Otto will lead a hungry pack of 27 drivers on the lead lap. Or check the 26 drivers on the lead lap as Ray Thompson is scored 1 lap down as well. 26 drivers ready to get back at it and are hungry to get up front.
Yeah, it looks like Ray Thompson and the 71 of Rob Bittman both used one of their resets under this particular caution flag. So they will be down 1 for the evening.
So as the pace car gets ready to make the hard turn down pit road, it'll be Brandon Otto's field to lead down to get the green flag. Pace car is in. Get ready for green flag racing. Here we go. Brandon Otto takes the green, and he's got a nice little jump on the rest of the field. Robbie Johnson hitch on right back for the ride.
Certainly does. Now, these two I don't think have hooked up yet tonight. Kind of a little bit of strange bedfellows, so to speak. I'm sure they'll find the comfort of each other's bumpers well and good as Johnson continues to push Brandon Otto forward here in this field. You see everybody kind of spread out a little bit. And again, you look out back on the trucks up top as things start to settle out here. As already a lead change now, or at least I thought it was a lead change. The 96 of Johnston changing dancing partners, so go back up to the 00 of Whitson, who he's worked with. And here comes the 22 machine of Jeff Ford. He is going to work with the 14 machine of Brandon Otto down low. So you guys swap a dancing partners here in the first lap after the caution flag.
Top 10 get bunched together like pool balls. We got a 6-pack up front. 8-pack, include the 12 and 83 out there. The number 14 of Brandon Otto holds on to the lead, but considering that they've got a train up high and the train down low, it could really only a matter of time before Brandon Otto is forced to give it up. But who's he going to give it up to? The man behind him or the man beside him?
Hard to really say, but I think right now everybody's just kind of in drive zone because the simple fact that there's still 65 laps to go in this race and at least 1 or 2 pit stops as you ride on board with the 07 machine of George Burns. He's currently the 3rd truck on the bottom there, that inside line. Just watch how much these trucks move around. He's being pushed right now, but you can see ahead of him how much everybody's moving around. And really, despite how wide this racetrack is, especially with this 2-truck tandem, it's barely wide enough. And here they split out in front of him. One truck got way sideways, and you see how wide this track is. It becomes very, very narrow.
Rewind through the turns out there as Brandon Otto nearly got his nose chopped off by your new leader. It's going to be the number 96 of Robbie Johnson. Cut in front of him, and that's going to send him back at least 3, maybe 4 positions. That looks like number 14 will only go down 3 positions as he's able to recover. But you can definitely see in that illustration right there, very wide through the stretches. You can get 3 through in the turn. Not as wide, but you can still get 3 through, though I don't professionally recommend you try that at home.
It's hard enough to get 2 trucks wide right now, the way this 2-truck tandem is, as much as these trucks move around. Despite the smooth surface here at Daytona, it is a challenge. And even on the straightaways, Joe, yeah, you've got that extra room, but even now, these trucks move around so much because of the bumper tags, it's hard to hold on to them straightaway. You saw that with the first caution flag.
New leader will be the number 22 of Jeff Ford as he's able to get away, and look who's in front, who's right behind him. The number 14 of Brandon Otto makes his way up once again. So Robbie Johnson forced to relinquish the lead. Number 61 of Bill Brown still up front. 00 still up there. Number 83. Only 4 cars remain on the high line, but they are hanging tough out there. But do they have enough aero push as they try to go 3 wide in turns 1 and 2?
This is going to be a challenge. You see Johnston just kind of drag the brake, as does the 16 machine up top. And looks like maybe they'll get through there. In fact, they will. And I remember the 16 truck, Robert Barney, caught a piece of that accident that brought the most recent caution flag to date. Looks like the damage is minimal to his 16 truck.
Number 61 now challenging the lead on the outside. It looks like now these warm tires that have a little bit of wear on them, these Goodyears can run a little bit hotter on the outside. We've seen a lot of the passes happen on the outside out here. And the 61 now dying low. He's going to take the lead. Once again, 3 wide. 22 falls on the line. 22 is in trouble down there. Is he going to be able to save it? Yes, he will, but that's going to cost him a lot of position on the track.
It's going to cost the track position, but he still has a race truck intact, and here comes the second pack up. See, maybe he can get attached to those guys, hooked up with them, to where maybe he can run that lead pack down. But nonetheless, everything all sorted out, as it looks like Robert Barney working his way still towards the front with that slightly damaged 16 truck.
Our Barney will be the new leader. With right behind him, your pole sitter, number 3 of Jeffrey Harrington, is going to latch onto him, and he's got a nice little company behind him. Jeffrey LaPalme, number 12, is going to be up there as well. Bill Brown up there, Brian Otto, and a lot of guys who have led at least one lap up there as well. The outlier here is that number 12 machine of Jeffrey LaPalme. In qualifying, I see him not even in the top 10, but now he's finally made his way up there, and he's proven he can hang with the big guys.
Yeah, qualifying though really is moving in a place like Daytona. Assuming you got a good solid race setup and a good dancing partner, especially now this two-truck tandem deal, you're going to be in good shape. It's probably one of only 2 or 3 tracks qualifying really is irrelevant. It helps to start up front, but certainly is not a necessity.
Give the number 3 and definitely help you to start up front as you're still hanging out there in second place, battling with the number 12 of Jeffrey LaPalme, who's qualified in the back row. As I look at him, we go as we take in with the run with the number 12 right now. You see just how close the 00 is with him right now is the 12. Now challenges for the lead on the outside. He's got it on paper, but can he hold on to it and get scored? That lap, he might go down low. Nope, 00 is going to continue to latch onto him and help him out. Now the 00 is going to betray him, leave him hanging high.
Oh, wow.
The 00 might pick up some position after all and just use the 12 as exactly as it goes.
That was good go in the notebook for Jeffrey LaPalme, is do not work with the 00 unless I threw him over. He just got completely taken for a ride there at 16. Just got a shove from the 61 of Brown. Wasn't what he wanted or where he expected it. He got made contact on the outside wall, and they're going to shuffle and do evasive maneuvers behind him as he now I shouldn't say way off the pace, but far enough off the pace to cause a little bit of havoc in the upper lane.
Number 96 went 3 wide there with second and 33 as well. The biggest loser in that one, the number 3 of Harrington in the truck behind him. That's going to be the number 69 of William Dunn, who both lost a lot of position as a result of that incident. Dustin Majeski now moving up to position. He was scored 15th the last time around, but he's going to probably pick up at least 2 or 3 positions as a result.
Certainly is. I think right now, even up front, this is about the most settled out we've seen our leaders all day. Top 5 essentially paired off for the most part, minus 1 or 2 oddballs, some free radicals, if you will. But everybody paired off, and now here comes the switch up front. Mike Cook, Bryce Whitson Jr. going to try to perform the swap. They won't be able to do it. They're going to get separated. Here comes the 61 of Bill Brown, the 12 of LaPalme. They're going to squeeze right between them, but just enough to break their momentum. As here comes the 14 machine, Brandon Otto. He's going to try to hook up with the 83 down at the bottom.
The 00 gets dumped like the ugly girl on prom night. And he's moved back at least 5 positions. Right now he scored 5th. Let's see if he's able to make up some position. As number 12 now challenging for a position. The 61 of Bill Brown, he's going to go high. It could be LaPalme to take. Let's see what happens when they get to the scoring line. And the scoring line, LaPalme will be scored as your leader this time around. The number 61 going high, catching up with 00 on the 33. And now they're going to have a train to try to challenge your new leader.
You know, quite frankly, I'm really surprised we haven't seen any 2 trucks hook up. Everybody's so anxious to lead a lap, it seems like at least, but nobody really is very loyal to whoever they came to the dance with. You know, I think if you hook up to the guy in front of you and you breathe that truck just right, there's no reason you can't begin pulling away from this field. But you've got to be patient, you've got to be willing to run in second and push that guy in front of you to where the 2 of you get the huge advantage over everybody else.
Bill Brown continues now your new leader out here. He's got a push from the 00 of Bryce Whitson out there to LaPalme now in 3rd. Number 33 now back in the group, moves up from 7th to 4th that time behind. But they've got a better train on the low line than they do high. 6 trucks low, 4 trucks high. Check out 5 trucks high. And if those high trucks don't get hooked up, that low line is going to pass them.
And you know, we're so trained to start talking about different lanes and different rides in speedway racing, Joe, that it's kind of, it's what you do when you go back to old habits talking about low lines and high lines and whatnot, but with this 2-truck tandem, the lanes are irrelevant. It's all about who has momentum, just like it is on any other racetrack. You can make the top work, the bottom, the middle. It's all about controlling momentum, working the air. And again, it's not so much a top lane or a bottom lane having to work. It's all about getting momentum and having that run on the guy in front of you.
Right you are, and I believe in the last iRacing update they did, not only did they have some good years on there, but they also made an update for side drafting as well, so now you can get a little bit of boost for working with a guy that's behind you. It's all about the big mo here. You're absolutely right, momentum. It doesn't matter what line you're on, though some lines are better than others. As you see the 83 just take away the lead. Chili Dog in the middle. Now the 12 and 00 tangoing out there. The 33 drops back. We could see 3 wide racing once again.
They didn't quite clear the 61 machine of Bill Brown, and Brown now is going to get a push from Johnston, and they might be able to come right up on the bottom this time from turns 1 and 2. So I think Brown and Johnston maybe have started to figure out we need to stick with each other, breathe the trucks as needed, but if we can stay hooked up, we will begin to pull away from this group as Bob tries to latch on as a third truck, but it's very, very difficult to get 3 trucks to work, especially as much as these things move around. It's probably doable, but it's just so hard to make it work because you got the guy in the middle with his rear wheels jacked up off the ground and really nowhere to see either.
The 83 of Couch Sport is your leader. That time around is to be overtaken by the 61 of Bill Brown. The number 12 going to go trying to help out the 83, but 2 trucks does not want to trap the mate. Number 14 and company underneath him will get that little bit of extra push, and they'll start moving down low.
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much going to help that line as it is just help the 14 machine. Now he gets the back bumper with Johnson, able to give him a little bit of a shove, and that's what seemed to help that line get that momentum there in turn number 1. I think if LaPalm and the 83 machine of Cook were able to get hooked up again, engage themselves, well, scratch that idea. LaPalm going to go back to being the pusher as Cook will be the pushee, and he'll be the one getting from behind on that tailgate. And, well, never mind, they've got it all screwed up now. Nearly 3 wide in turns 3 or 4. Everybody trying to perform the swap, find their dancing partner, jockey for track position. And here goes Johnston and Bill Brown perform. Or actually, it's Johnson, the 14 machine of Auto, pulling out to about a 5 or 6 truck lead.
Johnson and Brown and Otto pulling away from the rest of this field. There's no Brown and company fighting for position behind him. And if you are those 2 leaders up front, Otto and Johnston, second and first respectively, that's exactly what you want to see in your rearview mirror. The more they fight back here, the more they lose that aerodynamic pull that we keep talking about. The more they lose that aerodynamic pull, the harder those trucks have to work in order to keep speed. The harder those trucks have to work, the less speed they retain, and they do not, and it doesn't work as well. Meanwhile, number 14 is going to try to pick up position, but it's not going to work, as a 61 and 35 already had that momentum working for them, and they passed them like they were standing still.
Yeah, if you want to perform that swap, you want to pass, it's got to be in sync. If the other driver even so much as tries to resist it, it's going to screw everything up. As soon as you realize you're getting past, Joe, it's in your best interest to lean over, touch the brake.
35.
Here goes the 25.
96 in the wall as well. 3 involved.
All right, man.
The Ford truck is in it again. He was in the first caution of the night. The 16 may catch a piece of it, but the 35 certainly got the biggest piece of that one. Dustin Majewski, as he was up to second at the line and apparently got a little too greedy.
It looks like Majewski just tried to dive bomb into 1 out there and was not successful in that attempt. And that's what's going to cause chain reaction. Only 4 trucks involved, thankfully so. In fact, as in these big super speedways, you often talk about the big one. This was not the big one. It's only a handful of trucks were involved, but it's definitely now threatening to happen. Matt Racing Gadamas has the replay.
Yeah, you'll see him, he's looking low getting into 1, and that gets him a little bit squirrely, and then he gets behind on the steering, getting in there, and crosses the yellow line in the corner, and then he's going to get around, and then this is where everybody has a little bit of a tough time trying to get around him. A couple more trucks to get a little piece of him down the track there. 35 going to try and ride with the roof there, and you can see him just get squirrely into the corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. It's almost like he forgot he was in the corner, and he cranked the wheel. And that thing took a bite, and it just about put him in the apron. So Majewski certainly nearly catastrophic move in the front of the field. But I'm telling you, what we were talking about there, Joe, it's one of the deals. You've got to work with some of the people around you. And apparently he wasn't doing that to not know where he was out on the racetrack. But if you're going to get past, the best thing is what you're saying. Drop out, not drop out, but lead over with the left foot, drag the brake, and then tuck right back in line. So you make that time too wide, as minimal as possible. It gives you a chance to get right back engaged, and as soon as you're behind the guy in front of you, he drags his brake pedal to get to your front bumper, and then you're able to engage and keep rolling. It's a little bit of a science. It takes a little bit of practice. Once you get it down, you can make lots of time here at Daytona, and for that matter, at Talladega. Brown, Whitson, Otto, and others get ready to come down pit road. It looks like it's probably going to be 4 brand new tires and tanks of fuel for pretty much everybody in the field.
Let's follow along with the number 61 of Bill Brown. He's currently scored as your leader. He's going to come down 65 miles per hour down pit road. And you're probably right, 4 tires and a full tank of Sunoco fuel for each of these drivers. Let's follow along with the number 61 machine. He's the second pit stall out there. And the tires, are they going to go up? Number 3 pulls into his stall. Yes, they are. Right sides go up. Number 61. The left sides go up as well. Left sides do go up. Don't say 33 and 14 only took 2 out there, and they're going to beat everybody out on pit road. So 33 and 14, 2 tires for them. And they were able to get off pit road before everybody else did. So Brandon Otto might be scored your new leader this time by.
We'll see what 2 tires can do here. Obviously, it's just Daytona not very abrasive on tires. In fact, it would surprise me if anybody took left side tires. We'll come back, though. Recap pit stops and the running order for you before we go back to green. You're watching the NEOSCA Relay for Life 200 from Northeast Online Stock Car Association, live on the Web Racing Network. Don't go away.
Honored to say that we've done that with iRacing. We're creating a new NASCAR sanctioned series, a new division of NASCAR.
This is the next level of fan participation. Being able to race against Junior.
I think it's exciting for everyone. It's definitely exciting for me.
All you need is a PC, an internet connection, and an inexpensive wheel and pedal set.
It's quite amazing, really, how far we came in the last 10 years.
That people from all over the world can compete in from their homes. So we're very excited.
They're racing with us and enjoying the same experience.
Really just racing at your desk is possible. This is the best work I've ever done.
On the inside third. In line on the inside. Oh, they push and they driver. Luke McLean is a winner. Here it is. Now, Fowler's going to take over. Luke wins his first race. Come across the stripe and win. Round number 5. 3 and 4, Tim Terry take us home. The rookie trying to grab his first win.
And the true NASCAR champion is Richard Toller from Hull, England.
Single file and try to team up. Oh, boy, Olsen up the racetrack. Allen gets in the back. Number 7 of Richard Tower. RT is $10,000 sprinter.
Welcome back here. They're still working the second caution of the evening here, just shy of halfway in the NEOSCA Relay for Life 200. If you too would like to donate to the Relay for Life, the American Cancer Society, you see the address there on your screen. NEOSCA at Verizon.net is the PayPal address. Large amount of money already having been raised for Relay for Life for this event. You too can donate to help try to cure cancer. The goal for this race essentially is to try to get over $1,000 in donation. Last I checked, they were 75% of the way there, about $760, $770 or so. So if you've got any spare money, spare change, something in your PayPal account, your bank account that's linked to your PayPal, make a donation. It does all go to a very, very good cause. We promised you we would recap pit stops. We'll do that after we remind you that this race and anything else on WRNs in the past or future is available on DVD. You can check out the website, webracingnetwork.com. Order yours today, only $10 plus $2.99 shipping and handling. After that round of pit stops, Mike Cook, the 83 machine, being shown as your leader. George Burns, the 07, is second. Chris Worth is third. Bo Jeffries fourth. And Brandon Otto, the 14 machine, is fifth. Mike Shelton currently being shown in sixth. Skip Kreider, seventh. Brendan Fellows is 8th, Bill Brown 9th, and Tommy Fellows being shown as the 10th place truck as we get ready to come back to green this time by.
Now correct me if I'm wrong real quick, but I don't believe their top four went in to take tires or fuel out there. So Koch, George Burns, Worth, and Jeffries all have old tires and have to take of fuel. Or check that, they all came in on the first yellow, so they're running a little bit older gear. They got two guys behind them that have at least two tires, and they've got a bunch of guys out there with four tires. So tires may not be a big issue here. What I'm interested in is how much it's going to affect the restart.
Yeah, the only thing tires really do here is give you some extra maneuverability as the green flag back out on this field for Mike Cook, George Burns, and others, to where as you get later in the road, these special tires allow you to cut. They allow you to maneuver around other cars. So in the middle of the race, it might not be a big deal, and it might be a good time for you to see what your truck has and see if it can work on old tires. If not, you might want to make sure you've got fresh stickers on to come towards the end part of the race there at the climax of it, to make sure you've got something you can ride and take it to the checkered flag.
Lap 34 of 80, we are almost at the halfway point. As we got some trouble out there, it looks like number 83 is out of line right now. Not sure what happened with Green Mountain, but he is able to rescue it. No 7 also out of a little trouble out there as well. Into turns 3 and 4. 81 now starting to back up to the number 12. 96 not sure where to go. He's just going to ride it out. Is the door open to number 81 on the high side.
Bill Brown back there just about got crossed up in front of the field at about the 9th spot as well just a moment ago. Everybody, though, able to hold on to it and save base as we approach halfway. 34 laps in the books, working lap 35 right now of this 200-mile, 80-lap race at the World Center of Racing. Jeffries got his hands full up front, Joe.
Jeffries hands full up front, Shelton all over his bumper. Let's throw it back to 5th right now as Chad Dalton and company trying to get that line together so they can go up and challenge for the lead. The number 90 and 89 hooked up together. It's Tommy Fellows, number 89, and Brennan Fellows right in front of him. So the Fellows, no pun intended, are getting it together and making it work for them. Meanwhile, Chad Dalton on the outside, Jeff Ford working with him. We might have some very interesting racing once these guys get it all sorted out.
Now the Fellows might be onto something. It looks like they've been committed to working with each other, as up front the swap is performed by Shelton and Jeffries, and here come the Fellows drivers, and they become disengaged. They're going to lose their momentum on the bottom of the racetrack, and now they'll re-engage midway down the back straightaway. But nonetheless, the damage has been done. Their run has been halted by the 36-17. It's really wild. It just amazes me how well iRacing can model the air and model the behavior of these trucks. It's not going to be 100% perfect every time, because we're always learning about aerodynamics and the things that happen being raced vehicles at that speed. But to be able to do what they do as closely as they do it is pretty freaking phenomenal.
As we look back from the Declan of number 90 to back to the number 89, the Fellows and Fellows machines working together to retain that lead with 33 and 17. Hot on the tail on the high side, the number 0 Summit. Below the top, George Burns. on the stretch now. This is that outside line now making it work for the number 33, getting a great push from his partners out there, and he might be challenging for the lead once we get back to the start-finish line. Fellows now under fire from the tandem of Mike Shelton and Bo Jeffries.
And the thing you're going to notice here is Jeffries just about, in fact, he did get the 33 crossed up there. What you'll notice, though, a lot of times the fellows, if they're kind of stuck in a pack, they'll back off of each other's bumpers just a little bit, just enough to get some air into that trailing truck to help keep the temperature down so that when needed, they can go ahead and engage and push ahead. As now the 90 machine of Brendan Fellows has engaged the 33 of Mike Shelton, and they now are going to push themselves to the front as Jeffries and Dalton up top trying to separate themselves from the rest of this pack as well.
Jeffries working on the high line, but does he have enough help behind him to get around that 33 and more importantly the 90, which is stuck to the bumper of the 33 like white on right. The number 17 and the 77 working as best as they can out there, but they do not have the aerodynamic push that Loki does. But the number 33 setup has just been incredible all night, and now that we're getting back to a regular run, two laps away from the halfway point, it looks like that 33 may have be the truck to answer tonight.
So while the Skull Bandit leads the way, one truck gets up in the fence. Looks like that might be the 14 machine. Got a piece of the concrete or the safer barrier there off turn 2. The Skull Bandit leads the way. The question, Joe, for you I have, do you know why that truck was called the Skull Bandit, or the car originally was called the Skull Bandit?
I'm going to guess it has nothing to do with the original green and white design that was driven a long, long time ago.
Well, no, even back with that original design from Harry Gant, do you know why that car was called the Skull Bandit?
I'm also going to guess it wasn't because the Skull Tobacco Company sponsored that ride long, long ago.
Well, that was the Skull part. The Bandit part, though, that team originally owned by Hal Needham of Smokey and the Bandit fame. They put all that together, and U.S. Tobacco thought it would be a great deal to help brand some of their tobacco as well with that Bandit name. It all worked great for the creator of Smokey and the Bandit. Here, in trouble! One truck up in smoke, that is Fellows. He is blowing up, and it looks like overheating might have claimed that machine. No caution, but tough break for the number 90 machine of Brendan Fellows as he has cooked that one here this evening. Might have to get the total reset to see if it can help him before this race is over. 3 wide from about the second or third spot. It doesn't look like it's going to be very profitable for the 12 machine. That's Jeffrey LaPalme. He was in 6th just about half a lap ago. He's able to squeeze himself to the top lane, and in fact, he's got a little bit of help up there with the 83 of Cook, so very profitable move for the number 12 machine of Jeffrey LaPalme.
The 12 is going to go ahead and make the cut around the 33, but the 83 is left down to drive by himself. So a little bit of retribution for the number 12 of Jeffrey LaPalme as he gets in front of his former drafting mate, and he also leaves someone else and on the drive out there as well. LaPalme retakes the lead on lap 42. We are over halfway done at Daytona International Speedway, but I don't think the racing is going to be done anytime soon.
No, it's not. But if you're Jeffrey LaPalme, you cannot continue to race like this. Yeah, you'll get by with it right now in the mid-stage, and it doesn't matter. But you're making more enemies than friends, and you need to have a couple of friends to depend on come crunch time. Right now, LaPalme is just pissing everybody off. He's helping them get somewhere, and he'll dive, and he'll cut, and he'll shoot to whatever works for him. But coming into the race, I guarantee you, Jeffrey LaPalme, barring some sort of crazy incident, will not win this race if he continues to drive like that.
As we saw from the in-car camera, the number 14 of Brandon Otto, those 4 trucks in front of them just lining up real tight, see if they can make happen. Oh, the 1434 make contact right now, and it looks like they're going to be able to get away from that plenty of time into the turns. The 34 now struggles to get into turns 1 and 2. The number 12 continues to lead, but now they're starting to line up 2 by 2 by 2. We got a 6-pack forming, and a lot of other people from behind coming for the ride.
And LaPalme even tried to cut the nose off of Mike Shelton. Shelton wisely backed out coming into the tri-oval. But LaPalme right now driving in a method that I really don't think is very advisable here, at least at this juncture of the race. If we were with 5 laps to go, I might approve of it. But with 37 laps to go this time by the stripe, he might, again, want to think twice about making enemies and friends out there, because everything I've seen so far, he's not making a lot of friends at the moment.
when push comes to the shove, we do what we must in order to survive. I believe it was, who am I thinking of? The ends
Joe
justified
Cortez said
means.
that would have been Machiavelli, and
Thank you, Machiavelli.
That's a whole different philosophical discussion. Not a very big fan of that because without naming names, there are certain people in certain places in this world that use that as their ruling and political philosophies, and you see where it has gotten various countries. That's all I'll say.
The opinions of Tony Stevens do not express or reflect those of WRN and subsidiaries, the employees, sponsors of the broadcast.
Thank you for that disclaimer, Joe. I appreciate it, but there's if you really delve into those types of things and how they affect different attitudes in history, different thought processes as far as rulers and societies and things of that nature, it's really kind of scary. It's really kind of interesting, too. But that's a whole different school of thought. We're watching racing. We're not having it history.
Yes, we are. This has been a moment of philosophy with Tony Stevens. We go back to race number 25 of 80. The number 89 of Fellows, Tommy Fellows, picks up the lead for just a short amount of time because we still got some pit stops out there.
Yeah, it looks like the 83 of Cook going to come in. The 07 of Burns also going to come down pit road. Remember, they did not stop on this most recent caution. They stopped on caution number 1, and it looks like they're going to have to come down pit road under green. The good news for them, they can make it. I believe it's going to be close, but I believe they can make it the rest of the way on fuel. We'll have to see if the cautions fall as they would desire, because if they can get out ahead of this other group of trucks, it might work out to their benefit.
9 seconds for the 83 of Koch. It only takes 2 tires and a full tank of fuel. He is down and away. It's going to be 2 tires as well from the number 7 of George Burns as well. And now these guys are going to start working together to get back up on pace. 3 and 16 are now in.
Robert Barney, Jeremy Harrington, your pole sitter on pit road, and we anticipate this also to be a couple of 2-tire stops, as were the stops for the 07 and the 83 just a moment or two ago. I don't think you can take 4 tires here and come back out on the lead lap. It's a challenge enough to stop with 2 tires, but to get a full tank of fuel might be a little bit of a challenge. The good news is it sets you up if and, well, this is Daytona, when there's a caution, to be able to get some track position by short pitting as far as the fuel goes. But this pair, guys, going 4 tires and damage repair.
20 seconds for the 3, no tires on his truck, but lots of damage repair for him. As we continue with green flag pit stops, everybody decided to come in right now. The number 19 of Ray Thompson coming down pit road, and number 69 down there as well.
Bill Dunn and Ray Thompson on pit road, and we'll see what their strategy is. We've seen 2 tires and 4 tires thus far. Looks like Thompson going to come in and at least right side up. Nope. Fuel only appears to be the call on the number 19. Just a 5-second stop where it's going to be tires in the 69. And you see Thompson still pulling away. He's going to be by himself on the speedway. As Dunn will take 4 tires. Big miscommunication with that group.
Not exactly sure what had happened with that. 22 seconds for him as he now gets lapped out there. William Dunn, not a good stop for him as we continue to have more pit stops. Number 22 of Jeff Ford is now going to come down as well, and he'll be joined by the number 77 of Chad Dalton. Watch as they come in 2 by 2 by 2, is because each of these guys know that they cannot make speed by themselves, and if they have someone else to come in with,
77 overshot his pit, and the 22 got fuel only. This is going to separate this duo, but the good news is they're out close enough that maybe the 22 of Ford can just kind of drag. And yeah, you see him here on the exit of pit road. He's just holding back, trying to wait for the 77 of Dalton, so he's a drafting partner. These guys will be okay. They're going to get hooked back up here in just a second.
And as they get hooked up, it looks like they're done with green flag pit stops for the time being. Check that. The 89 is now going to come down pit road. That's Tommy Fellows. He was the Fellows that was not involved in the incident. What's he going to do? Is he going to take tires, or is it going to be a gas and go for him? Gas only for the number 89, and probably a little bit of damage repair. 5.3 for the 89. He gets a little sideways coming out of his stop. Not the worst stop, but certainly not the fastest we've seen out here.
The bad news for him, he's by himself. He has nobody to draft with to pick up the speed. So Tommy Fellows stuck between a rock and a hard place at the moment.
Right you are as we go back up front. Pit Driver Company now leading this field. This lap belongs to the number, the number 96. Trucking along.
Big trouble!
Big trouble.
All right, man. Caution is
One
out.
truck
Caution
in the
is out.
grass, and this is the best thing that can happen to those drivers that just came in. And it looks like the number 90 machine, that is the other Fellows who had a motor problem a little bit ago. Brendan Fellows is involved. The 49 of Jeff Gilliam is involved as well. Tough break. Or actually, check that. That's the 49 of Henry O'Connor. Sorry, I had the wrong name with that. We're the 48, I believe that is. Either way, tough break for the drivers involved, but it all started coming out of the tri-oval, Matt.
Yeah, just saw it out of the corner of my eye. You see the black and yellow 90 up on the high side there. Man, tough angle. Let me check our other camera here and see if we got a... Yeah, here's a better shot here. Looks like he runs up on the 71, getting down into the turn 1 here. He gets a bad bump draft. Up to the wall he goes, and then everybody's trying to scatter behind him. The 90 gets put around by the 2 truck, and the 2 truck gets a real good piece of that. Right front damage on his truck as well. Numerous trucks have some pretty substantial damage here, and looks like everybody else that went down through the grass kept it pretty clean. The 48 took a little bit of a spin down there to the inside, so looks like Henry and the 90 truck going to have the worst of this one.
Tough break for them, and it looks like that means Fellows will have to use his at least his second reset of the night if he hasn't already used them both up from earlier incidents. Tough break for Brendan Fellows and for the O'Connor machine, number 48, who got swept up into that one as well. I think Daniel Drago also caught a piece of it in truck number 47. Now comes the question, what do you do for pit stops here, Joe? If you just came in, to come top off the fuel, do you get tires, do you do anything? And obviously, if you've been on the racetrack, you can make it from here. So you come in and at least get a full tank of fuel, I would imagine.
It certainly wouldn't hurt any of these drivers to take a full tank of gas out there. Meanwhile, it looks like we have our first disqualification of the night. That's going to be the number 12 of Jeffrey LaPalme. He has been black flagged, and he is done for the night. So
yeah.
The former leader, Jeffrey LaPalme, is going to be done for the evening. As pit stops begin, Johnston, Jeffries, Brown, and company all come down to the attention of their crews. Let's follow along with the number 96 of Robbie Johnston. He came down during the last yellow flag period, I believe. And let's see what the number 96 machine does this time around. Is it going to be tires or fuel only? It looks like fuel only for the number 96 as they get out there. Number 14 also getting gas. Number 3 getting gas only as well. Number 61 already down and away. 4-second stop for Bill Brown as they only get gas. So a lot of these guys are only taking gas out here, as we talked about earlier. Tires inconsequential at this point in the race. With only 28 laps left to go, they don't need to take tires.
Yeah, certainly tires, as we've seen, may not be the asset they always have, but it always helps to have a fresh set come the end of the race. We're working caution number 3 here at Daytona, the NEOSCA Relay for Life 200 of the Web Racing Network. We'll be back for the finish in just a moment. Don't go away.
Honored to say that we've done that with iRacing. We're creating a new NASCAR sanctioned series, a new division of NASCAR.
This is the next level of fan participation, of being able to race against Junior.
I think it's exciting for everyone. It's definitely exciting for me.
All you need is a PC, an internet connection, and an inexpensive wheel and pedal set.
It's quite amazing, really, how far we came in the last 10 years.
That people from all over the world can compete in from their homes. So we're very excited.
Racing with us and enjoying the same experience.
Really just racing at your desk as possible. This is the best work I've ever done.
On the inside, third. Hit one on the inside. Oh, they force the main driver. Moves the lane. Is a winner. Here it is. Now, Fowler's going to take over. Who wins his first race. Come across the stripe and win. Round number 5. 3 and 4, Tim Terry take us home. The rookie trying to grab his first win.
As a true NASCAR champion is Richard Toller from Hull, England.
Single file and try to team up. Oh, boy, Olsen up the racetrack. Allen gets in the back. Number 7 of Richard Tower. RT is $10,000 to Richard.
Welcome back to Daytona, anticipating the 1 to go signal this time. And retiring out of the race, we saw a little bit ago, had some motor problems involved in an incident. That would be the number 90 machine, Brendan Fellows. Joe Cortez, you caught up with him.
Driving the number 90 machine, Brendan Fellows. Brendan, you guys were up front for a short period tonight before the engine got uncorked. What happened with your number 90 truck?
Well, I was driving up high, and it said my water temp was at 240, so I thought I was okay when I was pushing the 33. And then same thing happened to my dad on Monday. Just all of a sudden it blew, and when I was at 240.
You and your dad did a great distance while you were running up there, and now it's been broken. Is your dad going to be able to hang out there by himself for much longer?
Yeah, it's just it's weird. I just don't really know why it would blow at 240.
Nonetheless, you and your dad racing for a great cause tonight with Relay for Life.
Yeah, it's fun to come out here and race for something good.
Driving the number 90 machine, Brendan Fellows out to incident. Brendan, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Brendan Fellows, I have to ask you, Joe, does he even know what temperature water boils at?
You know, I think it's common knowledge, but then again, I don't also teach public schools, so, you know.
Well, let me ask you this then, while we're at it. What raises the boiling point of water?
Water boils at 202 degrees Fahrenheit, or 100 degrees Celsius. That is the boiling point of water.
212 degrees Fahrenheit, sir.
That's what I said, 212
You
degrees
said
Fahrenheit for 100 Celsius.
You said 202. We'll go back, check the tape. We looked it up, so you don't have to. I can't believe I just used that line. Green is out. Jeff Ford, Chad Dalton lead them to the flag, and we are ready to roll for the final third of this one.
Jeff Ford not experiencing any water boiling issues out there. The last time I let Pepper give me a sneak answer to a math problem. Jeff Ford leading the race. Chad Dalton now up in second. Bill Brown moving up to the third. Now low line taking off from the rest of the field, and it looks like the low line will be the place to be for the next 20 laps or so.
I disagree. I think you can make some time on the high side if you work your momentum to your advantage. It's a little harder, but it certainly is doable. And oh yeah, to go back to the boiling water thing, the more pressure you add, the higher that temperature can go before it boils, which is why these trucks get the 230 or even 240 on water temperature. But you got to make sure you don't leave it there. You got to be able to let it freeze to get that high. Otherwise, you see what happened to Fellows. The thing will cook itself in just a matter of seconds, it seems like. Guys starting to get a little racier back there. You see the 4 truck, Brandon Bowie, who's been pretty so far tonight, still racing strong up inside the top 10.
6 cars, 6 trucks bunched down on the low side. 5 trucks were on the high side as we go in-car now. We see the in-car camera. Let's show number 89 of Tommy Fellows is going to jump up for the lead right now. But if you get challenged on the low side with number 22 with Jeff Ford, these guys are going to push these trucks as hard as they will go, knowing that time is running out in the relay for life.
Once again, on 20 laps to go. It's going by rather quickly. And that means only that last time by about, this time by rather, 55 miles left in this 200-mile contest. It's time to get what you can get and end up trying to keep it for as long as you can. Couple cars still out of the race in this one. Jeffrey LaPalme, bringing Fellows. We talked to him a minute ago. LaPalme was essentially booted by officials. Not quite sure what the reasoning behind that is yet. We haven't heard anything. But nonetheless, LaPalme out of the race. My prediction holds true. He won't win the race driving like that because he's out of the racetrack. Nonetheless, still, why not turn 4? These guys are doing a lot more taking and a lot less giving as they cross the track.
3x3 now, 7:34 and 96. The 4-0, 16 on ball in the 3 wide racing going back into turns 1 and 2, 4-16. 96 now, the 3 wants a piece of it as they start to get settled out 2x2 once again. Some very, very hairy moments for some of those drivers out there as they drove 3x3 for about half a lap.
Yeah, I think they realized that they still have another 20 laps to get to that point where they try to do that all the way around the racetrack. Now a couple of guys familiar with each other starting to hook up a little bit further back. The 96 Johnson with 3 of your pole sitter, Jeremy Harrington, going nose to tail. I think they might hook up for just a minute, but they now disengage as the pack starts to check up in front of them. You see a lot of guys not bumper riding, pushing as they were earlier. They're trying to save those motors, it looks like, but if it was me at this point in the race, especially if I'd saved it for earlier, I would certainly start pushing and shoving and trying to get my way to the front and away from this pack, because that's the best way you can ensure you have a shot to win, is to get out ahead of this group, find yourself a partner or two, and just absolutely tag team tandem yourself to the front and then some.
See the roof cam with number 4 following along behind number 77 to Chad Dalton. It looks like that's what the 61 wants to do out there. So Bill Brown's going to jump out of line. He's going to go high. Number 16 wants to go high too. Not going to happen. Does not have the clearance now. We're wide through the front stretch. The 61, the 83 trying to get around the 16. The 4 not sure where to go. Now the 33 and 07 are going to join them 3x3 going into turns 1 and 2. 16 and 33 able to get a little bit of speed on there. 61 and 83 out by themselves. Without that aerodynamic push behind them, the 83 gets in the wall. They're going to start dropping positions out there. Let's follow along the rear deck of the 33. As you can see, they're still 3 wide behind him.
That 33 in the Swole Bandit machine of Mike Shelton, watching on board his truck. Had some pretty good camera shots out of that machine here so far this evening. And right now being shown right up there in the top 10, in the thick of the battle for the win. In fact, he's currently going to be scored about 34th as they cross the line this time. And it looks like he and the 16 of Barney have the run at the moment. And they begin to try to engage themselves, so they haven't quite made contact yet up top. And that's not going to allow them to pull away just yet as maybe they would desire. But again, guys are going to start trying to push and shove their way to the front here. And until you can hook up with somebody, you are not going to get away from this pack. As here goes the 33 to the inside of Barney. He is going to dispose of him. Barney and the 3 of Harrington are going to hook up top. As they might have something, but no, the pack below the 2 pass. As Harrington still trying to engage Barney up by the outside wall. Now finally they get the momentum underneath him.
Fellows continues to lead. Jeff Ford in second, the 33 and 7 hooked up. The 00, the 81. Now the 4 wants to go high. 4 is not going to be able to get in there. The 00, 61 trying to go around him. Nope. 61's going to hook up with the 4. So the number 4 of Brandon Bluey is going to get hooked up with 61. We're back to 3 wide now. He's turns 1 and 2. The 00 very high up there. It's creating some extra drama. 16 gets a little bit loose. 3's going to follow him. 3 touches the wall. Three wide racing continues down the backstretch.
One truck, that looks like the 60 or the 50 machine of Christopher Wirth. Got a piece of somebody. He had to go down on the apron to miss whatever accident was going to occur. Was able to hold on to it, though. And what I've noticed now, like a lot of these guys, the 61 machine of Brown, the 00, well, the 00 is the, oh, there goes Wirth. 50 truck goes around on turn 4. Caution still withheld by the starter. No caution on the speedway as the field continues to race to turn number 1. Accident behind them. We will remain green with 17 laps to go. But what I was getting ready to say here, Joe, is the fact that guys are starting to try to dispose the people they're not comfortable with. You saw right there a lap or so ago. Everyone's trying to get around. It looked like the Whitson machine. Trying to dispose him, trying to put him in the back because they're not comfortable racing with him. Same with the 16, it appeared. So now they're starting to kind of move who they don't like out of this pack so they can race for the win without fear of something stupid happening amongst them.
Which nobody wants. The 33 of Shelton now takes the low line. George Burns right behind him. Number 07, Brandon Bowie in third. Bryce Whitson in fourth, it looks like. And number 89, but behind him. 14 now, 3 wide behind him. 14, 16, 81 going 3 wide. Now the 14 catching up with the 89. 60 getting up to the 3. And the 00 teasing both lines as they go into turns 1 and 2. Continuing to go 3 wide. 14's got some help in front of him. 16 behind him. Who's going to be the first to blink as they go down the backstretch?
3 wide behind him. This top lane is going to get engaged, and they've got the momentum. Here comes Bowie pushing that 33 of Shelton right in the front, and the 00 of Whitson right there too, but he's getting left behind as that top 2 are engaged, and they are now beginning to pull away slightly from the rest of the field. And it's almost that point in the race where you can start to abuse that truck, Joe. If you normally can push for 3 laps, let's say, now you can push for 3.5. And as you get closer and closer to the checkered flag, you get closer and closer to 4 laps or 5 laps. So you just absolutely burn that motor down because there's no time left to need it. And still, Bowie continues to push Shelton out ahead of this pack. The question is, how long can they do it, and how quickly can they perform the switch?
Shelton continues to lead. Bowie in second, and a whole mess of drivers behind him wanting to get their truck up front. Let's get on the roof scan of number 16 machine. That's going to be Robert Barney as he runs behind the number 14 of Brandon Otto. And you can see just how close they are as they continue to push each other, trying to get up front. The number 3 wants to get up front as was getting on that line as well. Now the 14's got to push. Does he have enough to get around the 33? Not this time around, but the 14 scored second on paper. Let's see what happens when they go into turns 1 and 2.
What you may or may not have seen it last time. 4 truck, Bowie did a smart thing to the back straightaway. Didn't quite execute it properly, but he did the smart thing. He tucked that truck out of line, tried to breathe it, tried to save a little bit of temperature, so if he needed to push the 33, he had the temperature, the time to do it. It cost him some momentum. He lost the draft and became completely disengaged from the Shelton machine, but the idea was right. If Bowie can perfect that, it might be something that they have up their sleeve here in these final 13 and a quarter laps or so. As up front, the 14 now being passed by the 16 of Barney, and here comes your pole sitter Harrington pushing him across the stripe with 13 laps to go.
Harrington as close as can be on the number 16. If he was any closer, he'd be in the cockpit with him. The 16 and 3. 1 and 2, the number 22 of Jeff Ward. Third, Chad Dalton. 77 and fourth, and a whole mess of drivers behind them as well. Battling 2 by 2. But now the tension goes up front between Barney and Jeffrey Harrington as they battle 1 and 2 with time running out 13 laps. This time, 13 laps on the field, 12 laps. This time around, as he will have to start making some answers in a hurry.
And you see Harrington all over the back ball for Barney, and now here he goes. That is not exactly the best place to perform that swap. The good news, though, for Harrington, he's got a little bit of help from behind him. But the 16, he's getting a freight train. He might be able to perform that swap. They'll be able to do it, but it's going to bring everybody right back to their tailgate. Harrington and Barney perform it. They are engaged, and now watch that duo pull away from the rest of this group down the back straightaway.
And the race starts to get more interesting with only 12 laps left to go. There'll be 11 this time around. Jeremy Harrington currently scored as your leader, but the number 16, Robert Barney, continuing to fight on his back bumper. And don't get out Brandon Otto yet. He's got a whole mess of drivers behind him. Let's follow along the 33 right now. That's going to be Mike Shelton. And the Skull Bandit, he's got, you can see on his roof cam, he is fighting hard with the rest of them down there. but that high line's the place to be as number 3 drags him along, and he's scored as your leader this time by 12
And
laps.
Barney and Harrington, look at, they have got this whole two-truck tandem thing down. I mean, they're able to get disengaged and re-engaged quicker, I think, than anybody I've seen so far tonight. They perform this spot flawlessly, kept everybody behind them, and now they've got another lap or two to stay engaged. The problem is the 14 and the 33, now you see them get disengaged briefly on the back straightaway. It's all about keeping those trucks bumper to bumper, and you see the 16 again peek out, and he stays flat on that right rear quarter panel of Harrington, breathes his truck just a little bit, and now that duo is still up front. They're probably about a lap away from performing the swap, if not a half a lap. We'll see if they can do it as flawlessly as they did before. But as things stand right now, 3 and the 16, I think, are going to be the pairing to beat.
10 laps to go. If a yellow flag comes down, they will race back to the stripe.
Here goes the swap.
Tickets away. Here comes the swap. 3 and 16. Executed perfectly. Beautiful swap. 16 to be your leader. 3 happy to get right behind him. 10 laps to go, and these guys know exactly what they're doing and how they want to do it. Here comes 22, 77, and 83 on that outside.
Now they're going to get a little bit of a run on, but watch, the 3 and 16 now can stay engaged for about another 3 laps, and they can just motor away from this group. And slowly, they're going to start pulling away from this group if they keep doing what they're doing, and coming off turn 4, it's going to be a battle between themselves. They just have to keep doing this thing they've been doing. They've got a good rhythm down. They're executing it perfectly on both ends of the speedway. Like I said, the 3 and the 16 going to be the pairing to beat. The 14 of Otto trying to tag along. I don't know if they can stay on there. So far, he's not doing a bad job. But I got a feeling he's going to be the odd man out here whenever they start to get, well, he's starting to engage the 3 truck. We might see a 3-truck tango. I don't know if a threesome will work very well here.
9 laps left to go. Otto, Harrington, Barney, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st as they go 200 miles per hour into turns 3 and 4. Shelton, Brandon Bowie trying to work together now to try to catch up to that 3-car tango up front. George Burns, not sure who he's going to dance with. The number 00 of Bryce Whiteson. As another swap takes place upstairs. It's going to be the number 3 and 14 getting around the 16 this time by.
And look at Harrington. He said, thank you, 14. But I need to work with my partner, Barney. The 14 is out there, but he's by himself. These two get hooked up. They're going to have the momentum on the top side. Again, give them another half a lap. They'll go motoring around these guys here if they don't get put in the pits by this 3-wide maneuver of the 00.
83, 22,
there they go.
Trucks around the back stretch. 83, 22, 77 involved. 22 involved. Let's go back up front for the race to the front line.
They do not race back. Ford is involved. The 61 machine catches the inside wall. Bill Brown. 3 or 4 trucks catch a piece of it. Looks like the number 83 machine at Cook caught a piece of it as well. Approximately 4 or 5 trucks caught up in the big one here on the back straightaway. And not quite sure who was in the lead. But Matt, show us what happened while we get scoring sorted out.
Yeah, we're going to watch these guys off of 2. We knew trouble was going to happen. You see these guys all 3 wide up here. And the 61, I think, is just going to get caught up. The 83 purple truck dives up the track, and the 61 gets caught up in it, slams the side of the 77, and a couple other trucks get a piece of it. 22 gets involved. Oh, man, hard lick for the 77. I'm not sure if a lot of these guys have used their resets. Going to just back this up real quick and see the contact from the 77. A little different angle here. You see the 83. He comes up the track into the 22 and the 61. That sent both of those guys spinning. 77. He's going to go for a little bit of a spin cycle. Tough break for Chad Dalton. And 22 truck also makes some pretty hard contact. So these guys were right up there in the top 10. I'm not sure if they got any damage left to fix on pit road.
So with that, it looks like scoring is going to sort out like this as they were running at the moment of caution. Brandon Otto, the leader. Mike Shelton in that Skull Bandit truck is 2nd. George Burns, the Green 07, is 3rd. Jeremy Harrington, your pole sitter, being scored 4th. Brandon Bowie, the Rockwell Tools machine, is 5th. As you watch another replay on board the 77 of Dalton. Bowie 5th, Whitson is 6th, and Robert Barney is 7th, far separated from his partner Harrington. Robbie Johnston is 8th, Tommy Fellows 9th, and Jeffrey Gilliam being shown 10th. Bo Jeffries 11th, Dustin Majewski 12th, Henry O'Connor, Michael Watson, Jim Glennon make up the top 15. The rest of the trucks in the lead lap include Ray Thompson, Eddie George, Mike Cook, although after that incident he may not be for very long. Jeff Ford also in the incident, as was Dalton and Bill Brown. Chris Worth and Daniel Drago, as you see the 61 machine of Brown come down to the attention of his crew. So effectively, I think about 15, 16 trucks on the lead lap with a shot to win this one. William Dunn, Bill Dunn, 24th, a lap down. Rob Pittman, 25th, a couple of laps down. Skip Kreider is 26th, followed by Jeffrey LaPalma and Rick Fellow for the rest of the running order. And Joe, it looks like we're going to get about 2 or 3 lap shootout to settle this one. I hate to say it, but I've got a feeling this one will not finish under green.
We are definitely looking at an overdrive finish, a green-white checkered, which is kind of a rarity in iRacing towards the very end, especially with this few laps to go.
Yeah, technically it is not an overdrive finish because we are still within the 200-mile regulation distance, Joe. It's just going to simply be a 2-lap to go restart or 3-lap to go restart once we get ready to roll. I think, Joe, you've got everything caught up with the leader, speaking of which, Brandon Otto in that 14 truck.
How you doing, guys?
Brandon Otto in the number 14 machine, you have had a very interesting run, starting with a little contact up front, and now getting back, and now leading the race at the very end. What's been the secret to keeping the number 14 clean all night?
Well, first we had a good qualifying run and kept it towards the front in the first part of the race, and we drifted back a little bit to keep the car nice and stable throughout the run, and ended up coming back to the front.
With an overdrive style finish pending, what's going to be the secret to keep the number 14 in front and potentially in victory lane?
Well, we just got to keep her out front and hopefully get a good partner on this restart, and hopefully he'll stick with me.
Brandon Otto currently scored as your leader. We'll see if he can find off the trucks behind him.
10-4. Thanks, buddy.
Light still on the pace truck, so with 75 laps complete, looks like that will be the 2 to go signal, and it will in fact, yes, be a 3-lap shootout to settle this one. So a green, white checker, 3 laps to settle it, not 2, which would be a green, white checker. Nonetheless, 3 laps, 7.5 miles will be the total distance to settle the NEOSCA Relay for Life 200 here at Daytona. It's been a pretty crazy race. The 2-truck tandem has worked out well, but the pairings we've seen so far tonight, Joe, they're not together on this restart, and I'm afraid it's going to take them too long to get together, and they're too far back in the pack to be able to get by a lot of these guys who will already be paired up.
It's going to be a very, very interesting restart as Brandon Otto flirts with going down pit road. Nope, he's just going to try to conserve a little bit. So Brandon Otto continues to lead. It's going to be a very, very interesting restart once we all go back to green flag racing.
The free NASCAR goes around, gets his lap back. That is William Dunn in the 69 machine as he goes blowing by the rest of the field on the outside of the speedway. So Otto up front, and then the 33 of Mike Shelton. They're going to be leading the 2 lines. They'll be those the foremost of the push. And this is where communication is key. If you are Otto or Shelton, you've got to be teamed up pretty much with Burns or Bowie. And you need to let them know when you're going before you go so they can be latched on your bumper and pushing you for these final 3 laps and get the heck of a restart you need to jump out ahead of the rest of this field.
That is correct. So we're going to have a bunch of mixed up dancing partners, which is going to make for some very interesting racing. Let's go off on the pace car. 1 more lap left to go, so we'll be back to green flag racing on lap 78 of 80, which will give us that green, white checkered finish that we've talked about so much here, which I'm looking very much forward to. I think it's going to be a very exciting shootout.
I have a feeling, though, Joe, that it won't be all 3 laps. I might be surprised, and pleasantly so. But, I mean, this is a 3-lap shootout at Daytona. Bad things always happen here. When you get this many trucks together, especially with this tandem-style racing. Guys start pushing where they shouldn't, start trying to make moves maybe they shouldn't, and things can get really crazy really, really quickly. So it looks like the 4 machine will be behind the 33, and the 07 will be behind the number 14 of Otto. The question is, who will be in the catbird seat? Who will be pushing who first? Because quite frankly, who wins this race is going to matter more so about the second row, and who in the second row gets the better restart, because that means they'll be pushing the guy in front of them that much quicker and have that much more momentum.
There is no crying in baseball, just like there is no honor in racing when there's only 3 laps to go on a green-white checker shootout. We really need a catchy name for that. We'll think of something. Brandon Otto will lead them down. Mike Shelton, the school bandit on the outside of him, is going to be fighting for position. Then you got George Burns, Brandon Bowie, Bryce Whitson, Robert Barney, Robert Johnson, Jeffrey Gilliam, and Tommy Fells, all behind him, all going to be fighting for position. Get your popcorn ready. We've got a big show for you coming up for in only 3 laps.
So pace car will work off the 31-degree banks of turns 3 and 4 for what we assume is going to be the final time. We'll lead Otto and Shelton down. Who will make the hard left-hand turn? Green flag is out. Question who gets going first. Otto gets the jump, but nobody's behind him. Bowie is going to engage the 33 of Shelton. Brandon Bowie and Mike Shelton are going to have the momentum, at least for the time being, going into turn 1 as they get hooked up first before those on the bottom. Nonetheless, here comes the 07. He's right there in the back bumper of Otto. They now briefly engage, but Bowie and Shelton still engaged up top. They'll have to run off turn 2 on the top side.
14, 07, 0, 0. Both on the low line. 33, 4, 16 on the high side. 14 still has the run. The 07 and 0, 0 still trying to help. But here comes the 33, the 4, the 16. We have a battle 2 by 2 by 2 going to turns 3 and 4. 33's got him. Now he's got 16 dropping up behind him. Number 96 goes low.
2 laps to go this time. Shelton and Bowie again with that momentum. They're engaged. They are committed to each other. Bowie pushes Shelton. Will the two of them clear the 14 machine of Otto in turn 1? Survey says yes, they will. Shelton and Bowie to the front, and here goes Otto. Otto drops out. Caution on the speedway. Big trouble turns 1 and 2.
The big one has happened. 19 involved, 35 involved, 39 involved, 17 involved. Trucks are everywhere. The race is over. 17 and 35 start the big one out there. 19, 61, number 3, 33, 83. I can't call them all out. There are that many trucks involved in this one. The worst recipient of it is the 19 as he goes barrel rolling through the turn.
All-Star with the 17 truck thought he had a place in line. It did not. Matt, show us what happened.
Yeah, we're going to watch these guys going into one here. Watch around the gold truck there. They're 3 wide behind him. The blue 17 gets involved in the 81, and then the 19 is just going to end up with the worst wreck here with the Bobby Ellison, the Miller Genuine Draft Type paint scheme. Man, look at the twists and barrel rolls for the 19. That was one hard lick for Ray Thompson out there, and he's definitely going to have to count his blessings after that one. That was a tough ride.
And as anticipated, the group that got the best restart, almost 2 laps ago now, ends up front, and that is Mike Shelton and Brandon Bowie. Remember what I said, Joe, the person who gets engaged first, that will be the duo that ends up in the lead. It took a lap for it to happen, but Shelton and Bowie were able to clear Otto and Burns and ended up front. Unfortunately for Bowie, I think he didn't get a chance to make that final move, but he was committed to pushing Mike Shelton for the next lap and a half when he got that caution flag, get as far ahead of the rest of the field as he could, and I'm sure he was thinking about a turn 4 move.
I'm still stuck on the number 19 of Ray Thompson. I was looking at this replay from the in-car camera we have there, and watching those barrel rolls almost makes me a little nauseated. You got to be grateful for the safety features they build into these trucks and that roll cage that keeps them safe. Final lap is on the field. One more parade lap, and the relay for life is over.
Yep, off turn 4, down the short chute here before the tri-oval. As long as he can keep it rolling, and from here I think he can. The Skull Bandit, Mike Shelton, will come to the checker and the caution flags to win the NEOSCA Relay for Life 200 in 2012. Second will be Brandon Bowie, George Burns, Brandon Otto, and Bryce Whitson Jr. going to conclude the top 5. But certainly one heck of a restart, and a little bit of luck never hurts if you're Mike Shelton. He comes home the victor here tonight in this 200-mile contest at Daytona, and a pretty quick one at that. Over in less than an hour and a half. That's pretty sporty for a 200-miler at Daytona anytime.
Definitely sporty. We saw a lot of clean driving, a lot of excellent driving, and good decision making out there. And that number 30, the driver number 33 machine, he definitely earned it out there. Mike Shelton, your winner tonight.
Yeah, only 5 cautions counting the last one in the evening, which really is pretty respectable for a Daytona race, especially when with all the resets, you would anticipate guys driving extremely crazy. But nonetheless, a very, very entertaining race here at Daytona. So we will conclude with our post-race here, or begin our post-race in just a minute or two. And if that is the case, we'll try to hurry up and get off the air so those of you who subscribe to the Prelude to the Dream can go watch the feature event, some of the preliminaries as well. The heat races, I believe, just concluded a little bit ago. Feature still to come, but we will be off the air in time to catch tonight's feature race at Elmore Speedway. As there goes that truck. It's not going to Daytona, USA, intact as it crosses the line. So on the skid pad that is part of the road course, Mike Shelton will do some handicap donuts because all 4 wheels are no longer pointed straight on that truck. We'll be back here to the NEOSCA Relay for Life 200 post-race show on the Web Racing Network. Don't go away.
Honored to say that we've done that with iRacing. We're creating a new NASCAR sanctioned series, a new division of NASCAR.
This is the next level of fan participation. Being able to race against Junior.
I think it's exciting for everyone. It's definitely exciting for me.
All you need is a PC, an internet connection, and an inexpensive wheel and pedal set.
It's quite amazing, really, how far we came in the last 10 years.
That people from all over the world can compete in from their homes. So we're very excited.
They're racing with us and enjoying the same experience.
Really just racing at your desk is possible. This is the best work I've ever done.
On the inside, third. In line on the inside. Oh, they push him. Driver Luke McLean is a winner. Here it is. Now, Fowler's going to take over. Who wins his first race. Come across the stripe and win. Round number 5. 3 and 4, Tim Terry take us home. The rookie trying to grab his first win.
As a true NASCAR champion is Richard Toller from Hull, England.
Single file and try to team up. Oh, boy, Olsen up the racetrack. Allen gets in the back. Number 7 of Richard Tower. RT is $10,000 sprinter.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway to the NEOSCA Relay for Life 200. Tonight's broadcast has been brought to you by NEOSCA, the Northeast Online Stock Car Association. Check them out online at neosca.org. The American Cancer Society's Relay for Life. For more information on how you too can become involved, visit them online at relayforlife.org. TC's Custom Diecast, friends of ours here at the Web Racing Network. Tell him we sent you, he might have something special for you. Also, iRacing.com, TradingPaints.com, and the Web Racing Network. 80 laps, 200 miles later, Mike Shelton in the Big Skull Bandit machine is on the top of the leaderboard, your winner tonight in the NEOSCA Relay for Life 200. Brandon Bowie finished second. George Burns, Brandon Otto, and Bryce Whitson Jr. rounded out the top 5. Robbie Johnston, Robert Barney, Tommy Fellows, Michael Watson, and Jim Glennon rounded out the top 10. Joe Cortez has caught up with your winner, the Skull Bandit himself, Mike Shelton.
And Mike Shelton now climbing out of that number 33 green and white Skull Bandit to the Gatorade shower, obligatory to the champion. And Mike, you just seem to have a car, or a truck, I should say, that just could not be beat.
Yeah, I'm usually terrible at these tracks, but tonight, I don't know. I just I had some good pushers. I got to really thank Brandon Bowie for giving me, locking on to me those last couple of laps. I couldn't have done it without him, so thanks goes out to Bowie.
The setup of the number 33 truck seemed to be magic. If you weren't up front, in front, you were battling to get up front. How was number 33 set up so well?
Well, we were all running the same setup, but it was just, you know, when the train went by, I never got back too far to where I, couldn't find room to get where I needed to be, either outside or inside, to get the run back. And and also my teammate Skip Kreider, he locked on to me early in the race and basically kept me up front the entire time. So thanks goes out to my teammate Skip Kreider.
More importantly tonight than the win for you and the 33 team, tonight's race was all about charity, was all about giving back to the Relay for Life and the American Cancer Society.
Yes, it was. It was felt great to be able to give to the cancer research and have fun racing at the same time. It was a win-win situation just to finish in the top 5. That's just icing on the cake. It would have been great no matter where we finished tonight.
Mike Barlachone, any shout-outs you'd like to give? Anything you'd like to offer for the viewers at home? Take the microphone. Your 20 seconds of fame starts right now.
Just thank everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. It was fun out there. Thanks again to my teammate Skip Kreider, and lastly Brandon Bowie for giving me that push to the end. Thanks a lot.
Mike Shelton, the winner of the NEOSCA Relay for Life 200. Mike, congratulations on a big win tonight.
Thank you, Joe.
Tony Stevens has gone up with our second place finisher, Brandon Bowie.
Certainly have. Driver the number 4, Rockwell Tools Chevrolet. And Brandon, we set up here in the booth before we had that last restart. The pairing that got together first and got the best restart, pretty much the second row, which was you and the 07 of Burns. Whoever out of the two of you got the best restart would be the one that pushed the other guy towards the front and ultimately settle the race between yourselves. Did you anticipate that restart to get the 33 of yourself out front, or was that just sheer luck with the green flag came out?
That was the plan, just to get the better start and push the 33 to the win. It didn't matter where I finished at that point. I owe him a lot, so that was my goal right there.
And talk about that, because you did finally clear the 14 machine auto with about a lap and 3/4 to go, get into turn 1, and the chaos broke out behind you. Was the plan to push him all the way to turn 4 at that point and then try to make a move, or was there anything you could have done at that point if it would have got to that?
I don't really think I could have really done anything. I was going to try and attempt, but I just had a feeling caution was going to come out. It was too hectic, and it was one lap shootout. It was going to be crazy.
Nonetheless, you had a solid run here tonight in the Rockwell Tools Chevrolet. I know this is all about the Relay for Life and about trying to find cures for cancer, find money to help research treatment. And I know it's had to touch you a certain way. It's a disease that seems to have touched everybody in some way, shape, or form. And it had to feel good for you to be a part of this event to raise money for such a cause here this week.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to. As soon as I heard about it, I knew that I had to put some money aside and give as much as I can. And it was a fun race, great charity, and look forward to racing it again next season.
And I know there's a lot of people that help you get that truck to where it is tonight, second step of the podium. One short at the top, but nonetheless a solid run here on the Web Racing Network.
Thanks.
Do you have any sponsors, anybody you need to thank, Brandon?
I want to give a shout out to, of course, Rockwell Tools, Brandon Motorsports, and Timmy Hill Motorsports, which has also helped me get to where I am right now.
That's Brandon Bowie, runner-up finisher here tonight in the NEOSCA Relay for Life 200. Joe Cortez, I believe, has run down your third-place finisher, the 07 machine.
Hey, gentlemen.
George Burns finishing third in the number 07 machine. And George, you just seem to have a great run towards the end.
Oh, man, you know, we were hoping to kind of pop that top right there on that, and congratulate the team and everything. My teammate there for FT Motorsports, Mike Koch, helped me out a lot. We were just kind of biding our time there. We had the 2 resets. We didn't use any of them, thank God. We avoided a couple wrecks there, got that run, pushed a little bit on Barney 3 wide there, and Jeremy Harrington towards around, I think it was about laps 65, 70, someplace in there. Got through that, and yeah, it just feels good to finish up there.
Now, on this one, number 07 machine, you've got tattooed there, NEOSCA champion. Well, what's that about?
Yeah, a couple seasons ago, we won the Wednesday Super Speedway Championship here. Had a difficult time in the beginning of the season. Ended up with like 8 top 2s there. Finished second over the last 8 races, and took home the championship. So we're pretty proud of that in the 07 Heineken Light Machine. I got to take my hats off to Rob Pittman and putting this all together. Second year out there, I think we raised, man, I think $600, $500 that goes right to charity there, plus the payouts on top of that. Kudos to all the guys stepping up for the Relay for Life here. What a good cause, man. Hopefully we can, as Rob said at the beginning of the race, maybe someday it'll be some other charity and we'll beat this cancer thing.
Definitely a worthy cause, definitely something we'd all like to see in the future. Tell me, has cancer touched your life at all?
Joe, you know, I'm a fireman by career here. We have a couple of guys that have had recent problems, a couple other guys that are retired. Just seems like throughout the fire service you're seeing more and more firefighters battle cancer one way or another, and just weird stuff, forms of leukemia that you just don't hear of, and different things from all those toxins that we breathe in. So for my family, no, not directly, but for a lot of my brothers, my extended family, it has. So it's always something we're trying to fight for. We have a lot of charities here in my hometown for the firefighters and just cancer in general. So it is really near and dear to the heart here to beat this thing down.
George, on behalf of everyone in the WRN family, we thank you for the life-saving work that you guys do every day in your community. All the firefighters and your brothers are definitely in our thoughts. Before I let you go, any other shout-outs you want to give? Any sponsors you want to thank? The microphone's all yours.
Oh, man, just the Heineken Light Chevy team here, the 07, Kerwin, Koch, and Travis Lockoff, my other 3 teammates. Only Koch can make it tonight. They've done so much for me. You know, again, hats off to Rob Pittman and the whole gang in the NEOSCA. What a great race. I can't wait to go back and watch the replay of the broadcast. And thank you guys, because I'm sure it's going to be phenomenal. Now I'm going to party.
And I'll be joining you just a moment. George Burns finishing third tonight. George, congratulations. Tony Stevens as your administrator of the league with him.
That is Rob Pittman piloting the number 71 machine. First off, Rob, a little bit of bad luck for you tonight. Didn't quite get to the end where you wanted and how you wanted.
No, I was running really good there, and you know, there are no losers tonight. It was a great cause. I still had fun.
And talk about that. Talk a little bit about this cause, what you guys have done the past few weeks, all the money you've raised, how it's dispersed, so on and so forth.
Well, we've got about $800 in the bank now for Relay for Life. It's going to go to Relay for Life Middletown. We started this last year. My father-in-law was a victim of cancer, and my wife came up with the idea last year, and we raised $600 last year, and we just clobbered that this year. What a great cause.
Well, that's about, by my calculations, about a 33% increase, and I'm sure as Matt will put the address there on the screen, the NEOSCA at Verizon.net, if anybody watching would like to donate to help up that total, of course, all those donations would be appreciated, I am sure. But again, it's always, as you said, always a disease that seems to touch everybody in some way, shape, or form. And I'm sure you got plans to make this event a little bit bigger, a little bit better next year.
We want to improve on it every year, and I think the big improvement this year was coming to you guys to have the broadcast, and you guys do just a fantastic job. Everything's over the top, and we really appreciate everything that you guys did tonight for us.
We certainly appreciate you asking us to be a part of it, and Nonetheless, Rob, certainly a good race out there. 5 yellow flags on a 200-mile race at Daytona with a 3-lap, or what would have been a 3-lap finish. Nonetheless, it was absolutely fun to watch. Great guys you had racing here, despite a few little incidents here or there, but you know what, it's racing, especially at Daytona, and overall a really, really impressive and great show.
Once again, no losers tonight. It's just great to be here. I didn't finish where I wanted to finish, but it doesn't matter. I almost called my wife tonight to tell her I was running this for her, but I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, she might not have liked what she had after everything said and done. That's Rob Pittman, Series Administrator for NEOSCA. Tell us real quick before I let you go, Rob, a little about NEOSCA as well, how somebody can get involved if they're interested.
NEOSCA was a league that came up in the old Hawaii days, and then we went dormant for a couple years, came back last year. Great group of guys to race with. We have a lot of fun. Tuesday trucks, Wednesday super speedway series, both fixed setup series. www.neosca.org. Love to have you. You'll have a lot of fun.
That's Rob Pittman, Series Administrator for the Northeast Online Stock Car Association. Joe, final thoughts before we say so long from Daytona?
Anytime a group of sim racers come together for a cause greater than themselves, I am not only humbled by the company that I keep, but impressed by the drivers out there. And tonight, not only did we have drivers who came together for a common cause of eradicating cancer, but drove and fought against each other with respect, with dignity, and with honor, and it was truly my pleasure and honor to be a part of the NEOSCA Relay for Life 200.
I echo those same sentiments as well, Joe. Always good to be a part of some cause greater than yourself. Reminder, DVDs available as well from this race, only $10 plus $2.99 shipping and handling. And I believe Matt Thomas even told me a portion of that would go to the Relay for Life. So some of the proceeds of those DVD sales also going to this great cause. So pick those up while you can. Available at webracingnetwork.com. Big thank you to Joe Cortez, Matt Thomas, as well as IRTVO Development and Overlays, iRacing.com, and everybody else involved with the Web Racing Network. Until next time, I'm Tony Stevens signing off, saying good night, everybody. Let's go watch the Prelude to the Dream.